So we're back to aircraft as of this week, and today we're going to be looking at a double kit in the Airfix 172nd scale P-40B and A6M2 kit. Actually bought this at a Barnes & Noble that happened to be, I guess, discontinuing carrying them, and so I was able to get it for a fairly decent price. So let's go ahead and open her up. Excuse me while I try and shoo my cat, since I tried to get in the video. So I'm going to try my best to keep the parts separated so that basically deal with each in kind. So yeah, first up we have the Zero, and despite its small scale, the level of detailing on this fuselage is actually pretty nice. Panel lines are fairly deep and rich, so they will be readily apparent on the finished kit. Cockpit detailing is light as it goes the decal route, but overall it's not too bad, especially considering that the kit is designed basically to be posed in flight. That also being said, the figure is okay. Definitely could be a little bit detailed, but overall it's passable. Moving on, again, same type level of detailing and crispness on the wings, at least on the upper halves, as well as the horizontal stabilizers. More cockpit detailing, again, pretty good. I do also find it interesting that they decided to have the rudder as a separate piece. That's definitely different, as you would usually see that on larger scale kits, and in general you'd also see it in association with all the other control surfaces being posable. Moving on, engine detail is good for the scale, at least. Sure, it could be more detailed, but again, you're not really going to be seeing that much of it, especially once you button it out. Of their fuselage halves, again, nice detailing. Landing gear bay is pretty much standard fare. You could add in some wiring, but overall, I'd say it's not worth it for the scale. I'm keeping clear parts bagged up simply. I can go ahead and just open it now. Clear part is not too bad. One of the issues I know with the B-25 kit I reviewed previously was that it had a pretty nasty ejector pin mark. You don't have it on this, though. Obviously, masking all the small windows is going to be a bit of a pain to do, but will definitely work out in the end. I'm going to note one thing right before I continue on with the P-40, is that the kit does include a stand for both aircraft, which is a nice inclusion, as nowadays you really don't see that in a lot of kits. So it's something nice that they did include. So starting out on the P-40, here we have the underside paneling, and it's not bad. Again, a lot of the same detailing as were on the P-40. Again, landing gears a little light on detailing. Pilot figure for the P-40, I would say, is a little bit better. The details a little more crisp. Hopefully this will show up on camera. Overall, quite happy with detailing there. Since this is an earlier P-40, it only has the twin 50 cals on the wings, which is appropriate for the time period, and also much like the Zero, the cockpit instrument panel is a decal. Moving on to the second sprue, again, the rudder is a separate piece, and much the same of the detailing is extended onto the P-40 as well. All very crisp, all nicely rendered. Definitely looks to build up to a very nicely rendered kit. Now, decals come on a single sheet, split for the Zero and the P-40. Crisp, nicely done, good register, how decals should be. Almost got to mention the clear part of the P-40. Glad I caught that myself. Much like the Zero, no real issues here, save for some minor ejector pins here on the side panel. Fortunately, there's not much you can really be able to do in this scale. So, right. Now, moving on to the instructions. Overall, assembly is on the straightforward side. No real surprises. Again, just make sure you're going with the correct options for what you're going to be doing. The only real sort of area I would say you need extra special care is here on the landing gear bay, since they are smaller and just a little more complicated here on the P-40. Painting is done full color, which is a nice inclusion. Continuing on to Zero, again, nothing really jumps out in terms of assisting extra attention. In fact, I would say the Zero is a little bit more user-friendly in terms of the construction, but overall, fairly basic kit. So, what do I think of this kit? Well, I would say, given all that comes with the kit and the level of detailing, it's a nice base to begin with, and at the same time, given the fact that it is on the more beginner level in terms of just ease of construction, I have to highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for something you want to give to a younger model or someone who's just getting in, especially given that it does also include a paint set, which sort of neglected to mention, but it's there. Personally, I'm probably not going to end up using those paints, but it's a nice inclusion. And given the price I was able to get it at, which was about, I want to say, $10-15, to get basically two models out of one box is a nice inclusion. So that was a look at Airfix's 1/72 scale P-40 and A6M dual kit. Until next time.